Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of A Hidden Life. A Hidden Life was a special feature presentation from the 2019 Denver Film Festival and served as the big feature for the final day of the 42nd annual festival. A Hidden Life is the latest film from writer and director Terrence Malick that follows an Austrian family through World War II, as we see one man struggle with his obligation to humans here on Earth and his moral obligation against the ideals of the Hitler regime. And from there, it's an experience, much like most of Terrence Malick films tend to be. So heading into the film, I was excited, but not like excited because Terrence Malick is a little bit hit or miss for me. Even within films, like singular films, there's always at least a stretch of time that I'm like, that was terrible and didn't need to be in here. But then there's so much good around it that I get excited. And you have to be prepared going into a Terrence Malick film, right? You have to be mentally ready to sit through a long, leisurely type of film that looks beautiful, but isn't going to have a whole lot actually going on. But ultimately, I really did enjoy A Hidden Life. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, this film particularly, I have to give some credit to the script, Terrence Malick's writing here, because this had a much more focused approach to it. We had a singular storyline that we were following, and we didn't diverge off of that to go make some other random point. And this type of film really lent itself pretty well to Malick's more laid back, slow moving style. If I were to give this a comparison, I think this is the better version of what Silence was trying to do. And saying that, I didn't like Silence like at all, so we only could go up from there. But both films really delve into personal belief systems, really rely heavily on religious themes and your own personal convictions and morality. And this just did it so much better for me. It had a much more consistent message. It really delivered when it came to exploring religion, but more so morality and doing what you feel is right versus doing what is quote unquote right for others and for your own physical health versus your mental health versus your soul and your belief system. All of that is really explored in a sophisticated way when it came to this film. And that's why it worked so well for me, because that message never lost focus throughout the entire film. That exploration was always in our forefront, no matter what type of smaller messages we were going for. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed exploring that. I enjoyed the story in which we explored it, and it worked really well for me. Plus, I like the overall message that pretty much inspired the title of this film, being that sometimes unnoticed small things in history are what turn the tide. There are so many little people along the way. We don't know them. They have a hidden life, and but their story is just as important and just as impactful as the big ones that we've all come to know. And that's a beautiful message that really kind of negates the idea of, I go ahead and do this, but it's not going to make a difference in the end. As for the direction, it's stunning. I mean, Terrence Malick doesn't know how to make a ugly film, that's for sure. The cinematography in this is absolutely gorgeous. Again, those landscape shots that he loves to do, the kind of close-up facial shots, all of it works beautifully well. You can take 90% of the stills from this movie, frame them, put them on a wall, and they're art, because it is just stunning. I also think all of our performances are really strong. These are all foreign actors. I obviously love Matthias Schoenaerts whenever I see him, period. So him popping up in this film was a nice little nugget. But the performances all felt really authentic and lived in. I enjoyed that we didn't have any big names. We didn't have, Brad Pitt and Jessica Chastain in the forefront here. So it was easy to let yourself just go into World War II era Austria. Oh, and that score, the music in this movie, is stunning, like absolutely beautiful, stunning, works amazingly well with what you're viewing on the screen. But then what doesn't work so well when it comes to A Hidden Life? Well, the narration style wasn't my favorite. This is another kind of Terrence Malick staple and hallmark, having this kind of whispery voices speaking over the beautiful, lavish, whimsical type of cinematography. And I don't mind having that whisper commentary. It was just kind of the back and forth letters, the way that the commentary went, the way that we constantly had this voiceover going, that I wasn't the biggest fan of. And I just have to say, it is too long. This is nearly 3 hours, and just by the nature of the story, it doesn't need to be 3 hours. I said that our story here suits the narrative and the way that Terrence Malick likes to elongate his films better than his previous efforts, but it still doesn't warrant this long runtime because a long stretch of this movie gets really repetitive between what's happening with the wife and how she's dealing with the village and what's happening with her husband and he's dealing with the repercussions of his decision. It gets really repetitive. We fall into this cycle of sameness and nothing new is really coming of it. He doesn't push the envelope far enough to make you really feel the tortures of what's happening to both sides of this equation. And we're not getting any new revelations with our characters, whether they're the minor characters around our main couple or the couple themselves. They're just kind of like going through the motions throughout the entire center of this film. So overall, I personally enjoyed A Hidden Life. Yes, it was a little bit long to be sitting in that theater for me as well, but I think that the overall messages and the themes that we get to explore were powerful enough and they rang true. The movie is just stunningly beautiful, as you'd expect. The music is amazing. The performances are really solid. All of the takeaways were positive. But the recommendation here is pretty simple, honestly. It's going to be a divide. If you enjoy Terrence Malick films, you are going to love this movie. It is right there in line with his personal style, and I say give this a full price ticket. Go seek it out. If you don't like Terrence Malick films, you're not going to like this. It's pretty much plain and simple. This is quintessential Terrence Malick right here. Everything he's known for is put into one 3-hour long film. And if you don't like what he's presented in the past, there's no reason to think you're going to like this one. But also, if you liked silence, definitely watch this. I think it touches on a lot of those same themes. It's not nearly as like graphic and over the top as Silence was, but I'm definitely interested to see if other people kind of took away the same correlations that I did, and to see if you agree with me that this hits on the themes and points a little bit better. So that is my review of A Hidden Life. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see A Hidden Life? And what is your favorite Terrence Malick film? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!